What's happening, everybody? This is Earl Winfrey, aka E Dub, and today I want to talk about public radio. Do you support public radio? Some of you guys don't even know what public radio is. But it actually is exactly what it says. It is public radio. It's media that's not controlled by, you know, the billionaires and the big corporations. That's what public radio is. Do you support public radio? Have you ever heard of NPR, National Public Radio? In Chicago, it's 91.5 on your FM dial. So if you haven't checked out NPR, please, please check it out. I remember I was raising my kids, and they were little kids, 3, 4, 5, and listen to the radio. Whenever they got in the car and we would drive from point A to point B, I would have on NPR 91.5. They'd be like, Daddy, Daddy, change the channel. Go to GCI, a V103, a B96. No, 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 no. When you in Daddy's car, you listen to NPR, National Public Radio. You know why? Because on every episode, you learn something new. Not only are you learning something new, you learn how to speak properly. Learn how to speak properly, right? You're not going to be listening to all that rap in my car. Now, maybe in your mama's car, or your friend's car, or your uncle's car. But in your daddy's car, you listen to NPR 91.5. And I recommend that for all parents, for all parents, for all parents, for all parents. When you put your kids in your car, that is your opportunity to control what they listen to. That is your opportunity to control what they listen to when you are in your car driving. Don't let them choose what to listen to. They can be on their iPads and still listen to what you want them to listen to. And it should always be something that's knowledge based. Because they may not be paying attention, but trust me, it's going in. It's going in. And nothing made me feel better than once my kids reached a certain age, they called me. And you know what they said? They said, Daddy, what's that station you used to make us listen to? What's that station that when we used to drive from point A to point B, you used to always make us listen to? What's that station, Daddy? It's NPR 91.5. And you know what? And to this very, very day, there are fans of NPR 91.5. Now, as adults, when they get in my car, that's all they want to hear is NPR 91.5. And sometimes they'll call me now and they'll say, Dad, did you hear this story on NPR about Bernie Mac, about Dave Chappelle, about Isaac Hayes, about these extraordinary people? Well, that's what public radio is about. It's about telling stories. It's about giving knowledge. So my question again is, do you support public radio? Because if you don't, you definitely should. Now, 17 years ago, I started a radio station called intellectualradio.com. Now, the reason I started this radio station was because, of course, I enjoyed public radio. I mean, I'm a big, big fan of public radio. But there was one thing that bothered me. Just one thing. Just one thing. It was that although they told incredible stories of Black folks and their accomplishments, I didn't always hear us telling our stories. And I want to hear our stories being told from our perspective. From our perspective. I imagine one day someone's going to want to tell my story. And I would hope that everyone has that opportunity to tell my story. Not just people who don't look like me or people who may not even like me. But I hope that people like me, who look like me, will be given the opportunity to tell my story. To tell my story. Because I wonder sometimes if are these people, because when you listen to these stories, They sound like they really, really, really care, but you don't know. I don't know if they really care about Ray Charles and his music and his legacy, or they care about the paycheck. I mean, I don't know. Are you telling a story because of the paycheck, or because you truly are a fan of a Ray Charles? And that always kind of puzzled me. That sometimes you may have people telling our stories who may not even like us, who may just be telling a story because it's their job. So I want people who look like us to have that same opportunity to not just tell our stories, but actually get paid. These people are getting paid to tell our stories. Why can't we get paid to tell our stories? So that's why I created intellectualradio.com. So we can tell our own stories. You know, I'm not saying stop telling our stories. I'm not saying that. I'm saying give us also the opportunity to tell our stories. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. So I was watching Dave Chappelle being interviewed on NPR, and he was talking about the importance of public radio. And he was talking about how where he lives, they almost lost public radio. But because of him and his funding, he was able to keep public radio in his city. And when I asked myself, I said, well, if you support, national public radio, why wouldn't you support a black owned and operated public radio station like intellectualradio.com? And I know what the answer is. I know what the answer is. The answer is because he's never even heard of intellectualradio.com. I mean, intellectualradio.com is pretty popular throughout the Chicagoland area, but beyond that, has he heard of intellectualradio.com? I doubt it very, very, very seriously. Just because I believe that when you have black folks operating the station and having almost 100% of intellectual dialogue, it's gonna be suppressed. It's gonna be suppressed. Also, a lot of people don't want to hear intellectual dialogue coming from black folks. I've had people tell me, non-blacks, of course, there's no such thing as black intellectuals. No, they don't exist. And actually, that's another reason why I started intellectualradio.com. To show that there are black intellectuals throughout this freaking universe. Throughout the universe. I used to watch TV freaking, 15, 20 years ago, and you would never see a black intellectual on television. Never. Only blacks you saw on TV was going to be athletes or comedians. That's it. That's it. And I often asked myself back then, where the doctors and the lawyers and the politicians and the school teachers and the publishers and the writers and the TV producers, where are they? Because you ain't showing them on TV. And that's one of the reasons I created intellectuality.com, to show the world that there are black intellectuals all over the world. And nothing gives me greater pleasure than sitting in a room full of black intellectuals. We've had mayors, we've had politicians, we've had doctors, we've had lawyers. I believe that intellectuality.com has had more intellectuals on this platform, more black intellectuals on this platform than any other network platform in history. I love Oprah, but Oprah has not had as many black intellectual radios on the Oprah Winfrey Show as intellectualradio.com. NPR hasn't, and they've been around for longer than we have because we're consistently, on a daily basis, bringing in black intellectuals. Black intellectuals. And because we are black, and because we have so many intellectuals, that's why the world doesn't really know about us. Now, if we was talking crazy, if you hit a whole bunch of bitches and hoes, he said and she said, and who slept with who, oh, we'd be, oh my God, everybody would know intellectualradio.com. But that's not what we're about. We're about showcasing black intellectuals throughout this country. I mean, I cannot count the publishers and doctors and lawyers. I just can't count them. We've had so many. Go check it out. Intellectualradio.com. You're not going to find anything but black intellectuals. We're black owned, we're black operated, we're white suppressed. So it's very important to support public radio. Not just the major networks, but also support the little guys. Support intellectualradio.com because you know what? We're needed. We're needed. We're needed. We're needed. I know you enjoy your pop culture and you should enjoy listening to all the crap that's out there, which is fine. But also expose yourself and your children and your family to some black intellectuals, to some stories being told by black intellectuals. And still, I still promote NPR National Public Radio, 91.5 in Chicago. So please, if you haven't checked it out, please check it out. NPR 91.5 in Chicago. Check it out. When you get when your kids in the car, 91.5 FM. Give them an opportunity to learn things that they haven't heard before. Also, intellectualradio.com. We're here for you. We want you to learn, to grow, to be better. That's what we're all about. Intellectualradio.com. I'm E-Dub, and this is the Big Beautiful Podcast. We've changed the name. It was My Big Beautiful Podcast. Now it's the Big Beautiful Podcast. So until next time, peace.